Welcome to FNM Labs. We continue our 8th grade maths topics. In this session, we are going to discuss the concept of percentages and its usage and applications in real life. We will see what is percentage and percent, how we will express a number as percentage, what is relationship between a fraction and a percent. We will also see what are percentage changes, and we'll do a lot of cases where we apply this concept so that you can familiarize them and will be able to do any problem on this. This discussion is separated into 3 sessions and this is the first session. That being said, let's get into action. Have a great fun with mathematics. The word percent is originated from the Latin word per centum, meaning for every 100. It denotes some quantity expressed per 100 or out of 100. It is denoted by this symbol. Now, what is percentage then? A fraction whose denominator is 100 is called a percentage, and the numerator of the percentage is called the rate percent. The fraction 5 by 100 is a percentage as its denominator is 100 and 5 is the rate percent. However, percent and percentage are used interchangeably. So the percent can be used in place of percentage and vice versa. Now suppose you have answered 2 out of 5 questions correctly in a quiz program. Now what is your percentage of correct answers? Here the fraction is 2 by 5. In order to express this fraction as a percentage, we have to make the denominator 100. This can be done by multiplying the denominator by 20. Accordingly, we also multiply the numerator by the same number so that the value remains unchanged. Now the fraction becomes 40 by 100, which is 40%. Interestingly, the same percent can be obtained by multiplying the fraction by 100. That is 2 by 5 times 100 is 2 times 20, which is 40. So to convert a fraction to percent, you just need to multiply it by 100. With this information in your mind, how do you think you will express 21 out of 50 as percentage? As we just saw, you can multiply 21 out of 50 by 100. That is 21 by 50 into 100. That is equal to 42%. Suppose you got 23 marks in an exam out of 25. What is the percentage of marks you scored? Or in other words, what will be your marks out of 100? What is the fraction here? You scored 23 marks out of 25. So the fraction is 23 by 25. To find the percentage of marks, you first need to multiply the fraction by 100 as we saw in the previous case. That is 23 by 25 times 100, which is equal to 92. So now you know you got 92% marks. Conversely, how will you convert a 92% mark back to the fraction? To get the percentage, you multiply it by 100. Obviously, you need to do the reverse process. In other words, to do this, you need to divide the percent by 100 and remove the percent symbol. Thus, 92 by 100 is equivalent to 23 by 25, which is the original marks representation out of 25. Now you know that to convert a percent to fraction, you just need to divide it by 100. So in brief, to represent a fraction as a percentage, you need to multiply the fraction by 100. Conversely, to represent a percentage as a fraction, you just need to divide the percent by 100. By the way, you can represent percentage either as a vulgar fraction form or as a decimal fraction form. Now the question is, how will you find a percentage of a number? We know 100% of a number is the number itself. So what is 8% of 20? Let's see how much is this amount. We saw 8% is nothing but 8 by 100. The word of may be translated in maths as the product. So 8% of becomes 8 by 100 into, and it follows 20, which is the given number. By simplifying, we get the result as 8 by 5 in fractional form, or 1.6 as decimal number. So in general terms, x% of y is written as x by 100 into y. In the similar way, 3% of 15 is 3 by 100 into 15, which is 9 by 20. 50% of 30 is 50 by 100 into 30, which is 15. And decimal point 25% of 32 is nothing but 0.25 by 100 into 32, which amounts to 0.08. What is it if we say 5 as the percent of 20? Or in other words, what percent of 20 is 5? If you translate the above statement, that is, what percent of 20 is 5, into mathematical terms, it becomes what by 100 into 20 is equal to 5. Therefore, this what is equal to 5 by 20 into 100, which is simplified as 25, and we add the percent symbol, so it becomes 25%. Hence, 5 as percent of 20 may be written as 5 by 20 times 100, which is equal to 25%. In general, x as percent of y can be written as x by y into 100. So for example, 8 as percent of 40 is same as 8 by 40 times 100, which is 20%. Similarly, 30 as percent of 45 is 30 by 45 times 100, which is 66.67%, rounded for 2 decimal places. So in brief, 5% of 40 is 5 by 100 times 40, and 5 as percent of 40 is 5 by 40 times 100. Suppose some quantity, say temperature, is increased from its original value to a new value. We would like to know the increase in percentage. How will you find it? We always find the increase percent based on the original value. That is, the increase as percent of the original quantity. So here the increase percentage is equal to increase in quantity divided by original quantity times 100. Here in this case, the temperature rises from the initial reading, which is 40, to the new reading, which is 70. So obviously, increase in reading is the new reading minus initial reading, that is equal to 70 minus 40, which is 30. So the increase percentage is equal to increase in reading by initial reading times 100, which is equal to 30 by 40 times 100, which is 75%. In the same way, a decrease percentage can be obtained as decrease in quantity by original quantity times 100. Suppose the temperature falls from 48 degrees to 42 degrees. What is the decrease percentage here? Here the initial reading is 48, the new reading is 42. Decrease in the temperature is initial reading minus new reading, which is 6. So the decrease percentage is decrease in reading divided by initial reading times 100, which is equal to 6 by 48 times 100. That is equal to 12.5%. Now you know how to calculate the change percentage, whether it is increase in quantity or decrease in quantity out of 100, which is known as the change percentage. Let us consider an example. Suppose a quantity is increased from 100 to 120. What is the increase percentage? Here the increase in quantity is 120 minus 100, which is 20. Note that the initial value of the quantity is 100. We know the percentage is always based on 100, which happens to be same as the initial value in this case. Hence, obviously, the increase in quantity will be same as the increase percentage, and hence it is 20% increase. Now let us try applying the formula. Increase percentage equal to increase in quantity by original quantity times 100, which is equal to 20 by 100 times 100, which is 20%. So hence, remember always, if the original quantity is 100, then the change percentage will be same as the change in quantity. Now we know that a number x as a percent of y can be written as x by y into 100. As a case 1, let us see 45 is what percent of 54. This can be done in two ways. In method 1, we apply the formula which we have learned. 45 as percent of 54 means 45 divided by 54 times 100, which is equal to 5 by 6 times 100. That is again equal to 83 and 1 by 3%. In the second method, we try to translate the statement 45 is what percent of 54 into mathematical terms. How we will do that? The statement is 45 is what percent of 54. Now here is translated to equal to symbol, and what is replaced by some variable, say x, and percent is the process of division by 100. Of is translated to the multiplication. So the translated statement becomes 45 equal to x by 100 into 54. Now we need to find the value of x. Now we see the value of x equal to 45 divided by 54 into 100. Which is equal to 5 by 6 into 100. Which is equal to 83 and 1 by 3%. Next we consider another case. 252 is 35% of a number. Find the number. We need to find the number which is unknown. So we assume the unknown number as x. Here we translate the statement to mathematical terms. So the statement 252 is 35% of a number becomes 252 equal to 35 divided by 100 into x. So keeping x only in the left hand side, equation becomes x equal to 252 by 35 into 100, which is equal to 36 into 20, which is 720. So the number 252 is 35% of 720. So we talked a lot about percentages and examined a number of cases where we applied what we learned. We have a lot more interesting cases to investigate, but that in next session, percentage part 2. So meet you in the session. Till then, have a great time.